In the year 1775, a Bible emerged that does not conform neatly to the versions we know today. A God very different than the one spoken about in churches. Not a distant Lord that seems to be hard to reach at times, but Elohim, a council of divinities, not a throne above the clouds, but Yahweh, a presence spoken like breath itself, and a name meant to bind you to something personal that's dangerously close. But the names were erased and replaced with the one word, Lord. Behind the walls of cathedrals, behind the ink of translators, choices were made not for your soul's freedom, but for control. Religion was never just spiritual, it was political. It was the invisible scaffold holding up churches, monarchies, justifying wars, and binding populations to obedience. By altering the names of God, they redirected spiritual blood away from the people to feed the endless appetite of the institution. The 1775 Bible is not just a book, but a crime scene. It shows us the traces of blood scrubbed away, the lifeblood of a relationship with the divine drained and redirected. And until we face the reality of what was sacrificed, in translation, we remain subjects bleeding endlessly into a system that was built to drink us dry. To change the name of God is to alter the terms of divine covenant. To agree to Lord is to agree to be ruled. To erase Elohim is to establish a possibility of divine diversity. To forget Yahweh, to forget the whisper that God might be as close as your breath. And those aren't just minor details. When the names were changed, morality was inverted. No longer was divine within you, whispering through breath in plurality. Instead, it was above, distant, commanding, unreachable, without a mediator. The church created the perfect machine, suppress, condemn, redeem for a price. And that is why the moral code was inverted. Not because the truth demanded it, because power required it. The transformation of Elohim and Yahweh into Lord was not just a translational choice, it was a ritual act. A spell repeated so many times that it rewired the collective mind. Lord repeated endlessly built a different world, one of submission, order, and obedience. This is why the 1775 Bible is so powerful, because it empowered instead of enslaved. To whisper Yahweh was an act, a ritual of intimacy, to feel the divine resonant in your lungs. To name Elohim was to perform plurality, to acknowledge that the sacred could not be reduced to a single ruler. And these rituals were too dangerous for the architect of control, so they were buried and rewritten in the literacy of obedience. These times echo when the divine was not monopolized, when spirituality was not reduced to obedience. Systems of control always disguise themselves as salvation. The church claimed to offer access to God, but in truth, it imposed itself as gatekeeper. It claimed to preserve the truth, but it curated it, trimming away names, books, meanings, until obedience remained. An awakening is a recognizing what you thought was holy might have been engineered. And once you see the system for what it is, you are no longer bound by it.